Welcome to a countdown of pure chaos. Today we are diving into 15 of the dumbest ways people manage to injure themselves at home, proving that danger doesn't always lurk outside. Sometimes it lives in your kitchen, your living room, your bathroom, or even your innocent-looking furniture. Let's continue with number 15. 15. Some people walk into a room and immediately forget the sacred rule of tall humans. Ceiling fans exist. One man decided to stretch like a victorious gladiator under his fan. His fingers shot upward, the spinning blades met his hand, and the next thing he knew, he was performing an involuntary dance routine while shouting words that would make his ancestors blush. The fan survived with a wobble, but the man earned a swollen hand and a deeply wounded pride. The funniest part was that he insisted he knew the fan was there the whole time. His family disagreed, especially after watching the replay from the security camera that captured every glorious second. The footage became a family classic. He became known as the only person capable of losing a battle to home appliances without even lifting a weapon. 14. There is slipping on soap, and then there is slipping on soap with the kind of dramatic flair that would impress an Olympic judge. A woman in her bathroom stepped on a rogue bar of soap that somehow escaped the shower and staged an ambush. One moment she was standing, and the next she was performing a spontaneous backflip worthy of a gymnastics highlight reel. She landed in the hamper with her legs sticking out like a confused acrobat. Her dog stared at her as if she had invented a new household sport. The only injury was a bruised elbow and a humbled ego. The soap bar remained perfectly intact, sitting on the floor with a glare that suggested it had done exactly what it planned. The woman still wonders how something meant for cleaning can behave like a tiny villain plotting chaos with a shiny grin. 13. Vacuum cords are harmless until they transform into sneaky ankle-grabbing snakes. A man proudly decided to do some weekend cleaning. He marched across the living room, vacuum roaring like a champion, until the cord wrapped around his ankle with the precision of a trained ninja. He took one confident step, tripped, and performed a slow-motion fall worthy of a movie. He reached out to grab a chair, missed the chair completely, and ended up hugging the vacuum like it was a long-lost relative. The vacuum, being entirely unhelpful, continued running while lying on its side as if mocking him. His only injury was a bumped knee and a significant dent in his cleaning motivation. The cord quietly unwound itself afterward, pretending it had nothing to do with the incident. The man still believes the vacuum is holding a silent grudge against him. 12. Adults occasionally forget gravity remains undefeated. One man got the idea to jump on his bed to test whether it still felt as bouncy as when he was a kid. The first jump went well. The second jump launched him higher than expected, and the third jump sent him catapulting sideways into the nightstand. He hit the floor in a dramatic slide, knocking over a lamp that betrayed him by landing directly on his forehead. The incident ended with a bruise shaped suspiciously like the lamp's base. His bed creaked afterward with an exhausted groan, as if it knew this whole experiment was a terrible idea. The man claimed the bed moved. His partner insisted gravity moved him. The nightstand stayed silent, probably feeling victorious. He never attempted the childhood nostalgia test again, mostly because the lamp kept glaring at him. 11. Sometimes people forget the width of their own bodies. A woman carried a large box down the hallway with complete confidence. She approached the doorway and judged the space based on pure optimism instead of reality. She marched forward, only to get stuck like a cartoon character wedged between two walls. She tried to back up, but the box refused to cooperate. She tried to push forward, and the doorway pushed back with equal stubbornness. Eventually, she twisted sideways, lost her balance, and fell backward onto a pile of laundry she had been avoiding for 3 days. Miraculously, the laundry acted like a soft landing pad, saving her from any real pain. Her dignity, however, did not survive. The box remained perfectly unharmed, sitting in the hallway like it had just won a territorial battle. She still avoids that doorway when carrying anything larger than a pillow. 10. Office chairs create an illusion of control. A man discovered this the hard way during a casual spin to celebrate finishing a work email. He pushed off the desk with all the confidence in the world, sending himself into a full-speed rotation that quickly went out of control. The chair spun faster than he anticipated, and when he tried to stop himself, he accidentally pushed harder, accelerating the chaos. His feet flew up, the chair tipped, and he slid across the floor like a runaway ice skater. He stopped only after colliding gently with a bookcase that shook as if offended. The man lay there wondering whether he had invented a new sport or a new injury category. His only harm was a bumped elbow and a strong dislike for office furniture. The chair continued spinning slightly afterward, as if proud of its rebellion. 9. Climbing curtains is usually an activity reserved for cats, but one human attempted it anyway. A woman spotted a spider on her curtain and decided to remove it with bravery. She stepped onto a chair, reached higher, panicked when the spider moved slightly, and instinctively grabbed the curtain for support. The curtain ripped from the rod like it had been waiting for this dramatic moment. She fell backward onto the sofa in a flurry of fabric, landing in a perfect tangle that made her look like she was auditioning for a home-themed action movie. The spider calmly crawled away, completely unfazed by the chaos it caused. The woman sustained a minor scratch and a complete loss of confidence in her spider handling skills. The curtain rod bent in defeat, hanging at an awkward angle as if questioning why it trusted humans in the first place. 8. One man discovered that a few drops of cooking oil can turn any kitchen into a surprise skating rink. While pouring oil into a pan, he somehow missed the entire pan and created a shiny puddle on the floor. Confident he had wiped it all, he took one victory step and instantly performed the most dramatic accidental split ever attempted by someone who had not stretched since childhood. His legs slid in opposite directions while his arms flailed in a windmill pattern that would have impressed a professional dancer. He ended up flat on his back staring at the ceiling, wondering how oil became his greatest enemy. The pan sat nearby, completely empty and completely judgmental. His only injury was a pulled hamstring and the haunting sound of his own surprised yell replaying in his head whenever he walked into the kitchen afterward. 7. Some people try carrying all their groceries in one trip, even when physics begs them not to. A woman grabbed every bag at once, looped them onto her arms like shiny plastic armor, and marched confidently toward the kitchen. Halfway there, one bag ripped open. This caused a small avalanche of apples rolling across the floor. She bent to catch them, forgot she was still holding all the other bags, and toppled onto the floor in a slow, helpless fall. A can of beans escaped and rolled into her ankle with surprising accuracy. She lay among the groceries like a dramatic hero defeated by produce. Her only injury was a bruised shin and the embarrassment of watching her dog try to steal a fallen loaf of bread. The groceries survived better than she did, especially the apples that scattered with suspicious enthusiasm. 6. A man grabbed his hairdryer one sleepy morning without checking the settings. He switched it on, expecting a gentle warm breeze, but it was already set to maximum hurricane strength. The blast of air hit his face so hard it made his cheeks wobble like a windswept cartoon character. Startled, he jerked the dryer upward, accidentally blowing his own hair straight into a shape that looked like an electric cloud. He stepped back, tripped on the bath mat, and landed in the empty bathtub with a dramatic thud. The dryer clattered beside him, still blowing air with relentless enthusiasm. His only injury was a sore hip and a hairstyle so chaotic it could have had its own weather forecast. The man now claims the hairdryer attacked first, although his reflection insists otherwise. Meanwhile, the bath mat quietly waits for its next victim. Quick reminder, if you are enjoying, do like the video and subscribe the channel for upcoming content. 5. Jumping from a standing position into a rolling chair is a skill that requires balance. One person attempted it without having any. He confidently aimed for the seat, but the chair rolled backward the moment he lifted his feet. Instead of landing smoothly, he dropped straight onto the floor like a sack of potatoes. The chair kept rolling away, acting like it did nothing wrong. He tried to stand up quickly, slipped on the wheels, and somehow managed to fall twice in the span of 5 seconds. His back made a loud thud against the carpet, and he stared at the ceiling, questioning every decision that led him there. The chair eventually bumped into a wall and stopped, looking innocent despite causing a hilarious chain reaction. His only injury was a sore tailbone and a deep distrust of chairs that moved too freely. For closets can hold a surprising amount of chaos until one brave soul opens the door. A man decided to retrieve a single box from the top shelf. The moment he tugged it, the entire closet unleashed an avalanche of forgotten belongings. Towels, bags, shoes, and an inflatable pool toy rained down with the force of a mild indoor thunderstorm. He tried to duck, but ended up tripping backward into the hallway. A shoe landed squarely on his forehead with comedic timing. When the dust settled, he found himself buried halfway under a pile of clutter he had sworn he would organize last year. His only injury was a lightly bruised pride and a bump shaped like an oval from the shoe. The closet door now creaks when opened, almost as if warning others that it remembers what happened and is fully capable of doing it again. 3. Popcorn is usually harmless until someone decides to experiment with timing. A woman set her microwave popcorn for way longer than needed because she believed it would make the kernels extra crispy. Instead, the bag expanded like a balloon preparing for launch. The microwave began vibrating ominously, and before she could reach the stop button, the bag burst with a shockwave of steaming kernels. Popcorn flew out when she opened the door, covering her hair, clothes, and every nearby surface. She slipped on a stray kernel, wobbling like a penguin on a freshly waxed floor. Her only injury was a minor burn on her finger from picking up the bag too quickly and the humiliation of explaining why her kitchen smelled like a burnt corn festival. The microwave now carries a faint scent that refuses to leave, no matter how many times she cleans it. 2. Sometimes people underestimate how much momentum they create while reaching for something. A man leaned over the back of his couch, trying to grab the remote on the other side. As he stretched farther, the couch cushion slipped, and his entire body flipped over the backrest. He landed headfirst into the cushions with his legs sticking upward like an upside-down scarecrow. The couch creaked in protest, and the remote remained just out of reach, mocking him silently. After wrestling his way upright, he discovered a small bruise on his shoulder and a large dent in his confidence. The couch seemed unaffected, sitting quietly as though this happened every day. His partner walked in moments later and found him still trapped in the cushions, which only added to the comedic tragedy. He blamed the couch, though gravity clearly played a major role. 1. Pillow fights are usually fun until someone forgets how momentum works. A woman swung her pillow with heroic force, trying to hit her brother during a playful battle. She spun too hard, lost her balance, and launched herself sideways off the bed. She hit the floor with a gentle flop while the pillow continued flying, landing dramatically on her head like a feathery crown. Her brother froze in shock before bursting into laughter. She sat up dazed, wondering how she managed to lose a fight against a soft cotton rectangle. Her only injury was a lightly bruised hip and a deep desire to pretend the event never happened. Teehee Pillow, however, looked incredibly proud, resting next to her like a victorious warrior. The bed remained silent, probably hoping she would never attempt another acrobatic swing with that level of chaotic enthusiasm.